But we wanted to expose and introduce our students, our College of Engineering Ohana, our faculty, our young alumni, and our partners from industry, and just have a conversation and hear stories from some of these community leaders who, uh, have some very unusual pathways that they can share with some of our students, as well as some of the challenges and obstacles that they've had to overcome in their lives or their careers, um, or just interesting stories. And one of the first ones that came to mind to me when we were putting this leadership seminar series together was one of my good friends, because I'm always entertained anytime we hang out and we talk story, because some of the things that Stanford Carr has gone through just continue to amaze me. I learn something new about him every single time I talk to him, and he is a very important member of our architect and engineering and construction community, because he is one of Hawaii's foremost developers, and so he does play a big role in influencing our engineering industry. And so I wanted to have Stanford come and talk and open up this leadership series, but also as a part of this leadership program, we wanted to also make sure that some of our students had an opportunity to engage in some leadership opportunities. And so I am going to be turning over hosting of this seminar to Mallory Hitaishi, who is one of our engineering student ambassadors. She is a senior in civil engineering and will soon be a very proud UH College of Engineering alumni come May. So I will turn it over to Mallory, all yours.
Hi, everybody. So again, my name is Mallory Hataishi. I am an engineering student ambassador for the College of Engineering. Before we get started with Stanford's little talk, I'm going to just do a little introduction for him. So Stanford Carr is president of Stanford Carr Development, where he oversees an extensive portfolio of projects ranging from master plan communities to resort-style living to affordable housing. Stanford is known for building communities on a foundation of family living, the spirit of the islands, and respect for the land. Since 1990, Stanford Carr Development has completed over 6,000 homes and is responsible for some of the most recognizable residential communities in Hawaii, including the Ho'ikai Peninsula, Kehalani Master Plan Community on Maui, Iwalani, Waikoloa Colony Villas, Wailea Fairway Villas, Keauhou Place, Hawaii's first mixed-use transit-oriented development, and many more. Stanford Carr Development completed Hale Kauila Place, a 204-unit affordable rental project in 2014, Hale Kewalo, a 128-unit affordable rental project located in Kaka'ako in 2019, and has ongoing renovations of the 6 projects recently acquired from HHFDC, which comprises of 1,221 affordable rental units. Ongoing projects include the cottages of Maunaolu in Makaha and Kahoma Village in Lahaina, Maui. Stanford's projects have earned numerous national, Western National, and local awards, including the 2017 Locust Developer of the Year Award by Smart Growth America, 16 Western National Awards, including the coveted Golden Nugget Grand Award by the Pacific Coast Builders Conference, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Award, and numerous Building Industry Association awards, including 3-time Grand Champion Awards, just to name a few. Born and raised in Maui, Stanford has made giving back to the community a core value of his corporate philosophy. He serves as a trustee for the University of Hawaii Foundation, board member for the Rehabilitation Hospital of the Pacific Foundation, Hawaii Council of the Economic Education, American Red Cross, Trust for Public Land, Chamber of Commerce Hawaii, Carol Kai Charities, chair of Move Oahu Forward, and board of director for Homemade Hawaii, and board member and former chairman of the March of Dimes. Let's all give a nice Zoom welcome to Stanford Carr.
Thank you, Mallory, and thank you, Brennan. I'm honored to be here to participate in your first School of Engineering Leadership Series. I'm honored. When Brennan asked me to do this, he wanted me to share some of my are war stories and the different chapters of my life of how I got to where I am here today before you. You know, I'm a Maui boy, born and raised there. Grew up on a farm up in Kula, which is where I like to credit where I got my work ethic. Starting a farm when I was a kid, and that was my means of supporting uh, my desires of motorcycle, you know, hot rods and guns and hunting and other recreational things that you do on the neighbor islands. Moved to Oahu in 1980 and have been here ever since. I was fortunate at a young age. So my mother was an interior designer, so I really credit my eye to the appreciation of the arts and architecture to my mom. Credit her with inspiring me and giving me the exposure that I had, as well as her brother, my uncle, who taught me the trade of installing flooring, which is carpet, vinyl, ceramic tile, which was my means of supporting myself through school when I moved here at 18. So I took my contractor's license when I was with Pacific Construction, Hawaiian Dredging, who we still work with Hawaiian Dredging till today. So it's been a 40-year relationship, going on 41 years. You know, they've built now approximately 1,700 units for us and are currently renovating nearly 1,000 apartments for us in Kaka'ako. Um, so it's been you know, it's amazing how 30 years has gone by, 40 years moving here and over 30 years in this business. You know, we're noted for our core business as housing. However, we have invested in commercial, light industrial, a little bit of office, retail, but our core business still is housing. We even did some hospitality. In 2010, we purchased the McKenna Beach Resort on Maui, which involved over 1,000 acres, and the old Prince Hotel, and we sold out our interest in 2018. So I want to share with you a bit of highlight some of the projects that we've built over the years and the engineering challenges that we faced. My first big break that was transformative for my career was in 1992. We were awarded by HFDC, then Governor Waihee, a village port in the villages of Kapolei, and that's what you see in the foreground, 645 units of a mixed income, mixed product community of 156 rental apartments, 19 I had in master plan communities, which inspired me to spend more time in looking at competitive housing markets across the country and really focused in the Irvine area, which is a very competitive housing market, and realized that our communities here in Hawaii didn't have the design attributes that I saw in the Orange County Irvine area. You know, central parks, pedestrian paseos, pocket parks, nice front yard landscaping, and a diversity of architecture. So Kekuilani was our first attempt to bring some high density, single family detached housing to achieve deeper affordability for the single family market, aside from workforce rentals, as well as multifamily condominiums. So in 1992, we were awarded this. This project actually won a Golden Nugget Merit Award at the Pacific Coast Builders Conference in Moscone Center in 1993. And that just getting a merit award just gave me that much more motivation that I wanted to beat out the big public boys, that, hey, us local mocos from Hawaii can compete with the best of the best, which is the 16 Western United States and Pacific Rim countries. So I went on to compete for Village 5, which is directly across the street adjacent to the Kapolei Elementary School that you see with the blue roofs. This was a multi-family condo at Kekuilani. And this was the single family homes at Evilani. Evilani ended up receiving the Golden Nugget Grand Award, beating out large public companies such as Shea Holmes, Pulte, Taylor Woodrow, that are, you know, publicly traded big corporations. So this all gave me the taste of master plan communities, which then inspired me to for us to take a look at Seaborough Homes. Seaborough Homes went public in 1992 on the coattails of Jim Schuler going public in 1990. And so Brewer Homes went public in 92. They had master plan communities in Hilo. This is the Kehalani Wailuku Maui master plan. And so we entered into a stock purchase agreement in 1998 to buy the company's stock.
Join the meeting.
So we actually purchased, when Brewer did the IPO, it was priced at $12 a share. They raised $36 million into the market, in the marketplace. And I call this endeavor my mini, and it is to take a private company public because of a lot more complexities in transaction. So Seaborough Homes is traded on NASDAQ, $12 a share. We ended up redesigning the master plan. You'll see the site bifurcated by Honopi'ilani Highway. The previous master plan had an elementary school where Mauna Leo is identified, which is on the corner of Kuhikahi Street and Honopi'ilani Highway. We felt that the amount of infrastructure that needs to go in to cross the highway and to build up on this hillside was in the tens of millions of dollars. And by the way, the off-site drainage that comes off this hillside, we built a 490 acre-foot basin. Further exits the corner of Kuikai Drive at 1 foot diameter conspan below Honopi'ilani Highway that we had to build. It then crosses the highway and leads into a culvert that line culvert that continues on to a retention basin. And thereafter, there's a riprap emergency overflow, which then flowed arduous processing of permits and entitlements that was necessary in order to realize and develop this community. We also had a lot of off-site high level, mid-level, and lower level water tanks to build, transmission lines, the whole gamut of wet and dry utilities. This is an aerial view looking towards the north. And it outlines the perimeter of the entire 540 acre master plan that's entitled for 2,400 units and 20 acres of commercial, 28 acres of parks, where we actually have a regional park, community park, as well as a collage of pocket parks that choreograph throughout the community, along with bike paths and a diversity of housing opportunities, starting from entry-level multifamily to entry-level single-family, to move up single-family to luxury multifamily condominiums, which I'll show you some of the product types here. But you can see the mid-level million-gallon post-tension water tank that we built right below that punawai there that serves the lower level of the community there. Here's a perspective aerial looking towards the west. You can see the incremental improvements as we're building through this community. At the bottom of the screen there is the foodland that we worked with the Sullivan family to build a new signature store for them in the master plan of Kehalani. We also relocate, as I stated earlier, where Mauna Leo is, which is on the corner of Kuikahi Drive and Honopi'ilani, directly across the Foodland store, which was originally planned for the elementary school. We worked with the Department of Education the superintendent to relocate the school with access off of our neighborhood theme drive in order to have it surrounded by residential housing as well as a community park in order to provide more transparency and safety for the kids to easily walk to the school. There's another aerial view of this features the Foodland, Mauna Leo up above. To the right is Olena. So this is just some slides of some of the diversity of product types we've developed here. This is single family housing, Mauna Leo. This community has 3 distinctive architectural vernaculars. What you're looking at today is a prairie style home with faux stone, brackets, and
We're cutting in and out, so I'm going to switch you to the audio on the computer really quickly.
unmute.
Yeah, unmute there.
Good. Understand I wasn't coming through.
Stanford, that's why you also got to hire electrical engineers too, not just civils now.
Yeah. Hang on, we're getting some reverb feedback here. How's this? Can you hear me better? All right. How do we get rid of that? So here you see another single family home in Mauna Leo in a plantation vernacular with a double pitch Hawaiian roof, underlying corbels, horizontal siding, and some board and bath. And I'm stuck on this slide. Again, we're getting little technical difficulties here. All right. Okay, so now you're looking at the cottages as we move further up the hill. And you can see to the bottom right, a pocket park. Up at the left corner, you can see Pu'ukukui Elementary School. Here's one of the single family homes of the cottages in a single style design. Our cottage design with board and batten. So you can see the different architectural vernaculars that we try to create within the community so it doesn't look like production housing, but more like custom housing. As you can see, this for the civil engineers here, you'd appreciate we really prefer to see traditional neighborhood road sections, which keeps the sidewalk and the pedestrian away from the roadway, with the parkway with a canopy tree, then the curbing, and then you'll see the bike pathway, and then the vehicular lane. This is multi-family townhouses, so no one lives above you or above you. No one lives below you or above you. It's a six-plex building flanked by a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-story unit next to a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse adjacent to another 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse. So this is a pretty popular product with a private backyard. We're yielding about 11 units to an acre density. These are the villas at Kehalani. This is for empty nesters or for families who don't have the time to take care of a yard and maintain a home. So these are multifamily condominiums that have the living space of a single family home up to over 2,000 square feet with an attached garage, a blended Monier tile roof that's custom blended. It's 60% Gulfstream, 40% polygreen. And again, we're utilizing dense glass dense glass gold board and plaster exterior. You can see the car attached garage. Uh, Very popular product up on the hillside of Kehalani. As you can see the horizon ocean views. This is an infill, suburban infill opportunity. We 2000, August of 2000, 43 acres, the last 43 acres of undeveloped property in the master plan, originally started by Henry J. Kaiser. And I hope that Mr. Kaiser would have been proud of how we completed his master plan of Hawaii Kai. And because it was a large amount of acreage, 43 acres, we paid $40 million in August of 2000. Brandon can always tell you guys, share with you the story of how we ended up acquiring this and the challenges that I had to overcome in order to see this project through. It's one of those, it has a chapter of its own, but originally it was going to be a JV with Home Depot and ourselves. They only wanted to purchase 12 acres of the 43. At the last minute, while we were papering a joint venture agreement, they got off a call with Atlanta. Atlanta nixed the deal. And so we had the opportunity to step into their shoes to buy the entire site from Kamehameha Schools for 40 million. There were a lot of bets going on that Carr couldn't close this deal because I literally had 3 weeks to come up with the $40 million to purchase this property. And I actually had to write a check and sign a promissory note with Home Depot while we were in the conference room to reimburse them $500,000 that they already went hard on the deal and dispersed to KS. But, I did not want to see this opportunity to pass through my hands because my concern was it would probably get bid up. But being a large property as it is, and given that there was still a lot of multifamily inventory for sale in the market, we created 5 different product types to afford different households and different income distributions the opportunity to live here. So we created 5 different product types. The executive residences are single family, 3 and 4 bedroom homes on 7,200 square foot lots on the marina. We had 3 different archetypes, craftsman that you see here with the full stone tile roofs, shingle design. This is the plan 3. And we also had a plantation design. This is the shingle design in the cottages and attached higher density, single family, detached and attached product. The villas at the peninsula, which had attached single car garages for 2 bedrooms with an adjacent tandem stall, as well as 2 and 3 bedroom condominiums with attached 2-car garages. Again, living spaces for those who the lifestyle that wants the convenience and luxury of a single family home with an attached garage, but really don't have the time to take care of the yard and maintain a home, the exterior. And here's a product that we introduced that took me 13 years to realize. I saw this podium product in Irvine along Jamboree Boulevard called Toscana. It's 4 levels of residential units over 1 level of parking. And what we've done here is we've bermed up above grade, about a half grade, with the retaining walls that you see there and the landscaping, so that to shield and line the parking structure that you don't even see. It's shielded by all this landscaping, but below the first level is a 1 full level of parking. And then you've got this podium deck where we build 4 levels of residential condominiums of 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. We used all light gauge steel. So as we went vertically up the building, we used a lighter gauge steel with a metal pan floor system and lightweight concrete. Taking you over to the Big Island, we also have been involved in the resort market. Off to the right there, you see the early stages of Waikoloa Colony Villas in the Waikoloa Beach Resort community. And here you see it fully completed back in 2003. We completed this. We were invited by Monolani Resort to start building in their community. So off a little bit to the left with the green roofs surrounded by the fairways is the fairway, the fairways at Monolani, 126 condominiums. And off to the bottom right, you'll see the phasing of Kulolani, another luxury multifamily attached garage product type that we built. This is the fairways at Monolani, again, attached garages with 2 and 3 bedroom units. You can see the enriched hardscape in the motor court. And again, a custom blended Mornier tile roof utilizing the S tile product and a plaster exterior. Here we've got a more contemporary plantation architecture utilizing horizontal siding and board and batten, and again, the enriched hardscape in the mortar court. Little exterior elevation of the building and how we break it up with the board and batten and siding. The photo. This is Wailea Fairway Villas, which we broke ground in 1997. We had worked with Sidwell Golf. They invited us in 1994 to start building some single family product on a completed community that not one lot was sold. So we had built 4 model homes with 4 different architectural vernaculars that really stimulated their lot sales. And in return, they gave us our choice of any property to design and build, which we entitled and got an SMA permit and broke ground with Wailea Fairway Villas, which is 118 2 and 3 bedroom condos. This is actually the first condominium project in all of Wailea that we introduced 3 bedroom units. This is Halekuila Place, where we broke ground in December of 2012. And it's a 204 unit rental community with ground floor commercial, separated by separate parking structure of 5 levels, and lining the parking structure you see on the bottom left there. If you ever drive by at Mother Waldron Park, you'll notice 5 3-bedroom apartments overlooking Mother Waldron Park. And this is where we started introducing the use of townhouses to line the parking structure that we further extended when we built Keauhou Place. This building was built using tunnel form system with Hawaiian dredging. We did a design assist build. We came in 6 weeks ahead of schedule, as well as under budget, which enabled us the ability to reinvest in the community. We refurbished the Mother Waldron Park, investing $600,000 in redoing the irrigation turf, building 2 new basketball courts, as well as creating a computer lab on the ground floor of our building, which serves as a makery lab for the students, for the kids in our building, where they go under the hood of Minecraft and learn how to code. We've got 8 computers. We pay a professor a stipend on Saturday, pre-COVID, to teach these kids how to utilize these different softwares, learn how to code. We have laser routers, we have a laser printer and laser scanners, and it just gives the kids there the exposure and education that there are no boundaries to their creativity as well as their abilities. They just need the opportunity. Here's Keauhou Place, Hawaii's first, I like to say it, first mixed-use transit-oriented development. This is a view overlooking South and Halekuila Street. On the Mauka end of the block, we're still waiting for the transit station, which will be forthcoming. The ground floor parking along that wooden that separates the transit property and our structure. The ground floor parking there will convert to retail storefronts once the station is built and in operation. But you can see how we collaborated with Kamehameha Schools to master plan the entire block. you have here, it exemplifies a 423 unit condominium community with 35 townhouses that line the parking structure along South Street and Pohokaina Street. Rising out of the middle of the block is a 43-story condominium with 399 condos of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. On the diamond head of the parking structure is our ground floor commercial with our front door lobby, as well as the retail promenade of Keoho Lane, which Keoho Lane was really a Malcolm Mackay Road once upon a time that existed. And adjacent to Keawe Street is more ground floor commercial, Yaya's, down to earth food store with 5 levels of residential rental apartments up above. Here you can see the front door to our lobby of Keoho Place. Off to the left there, you see the pedestrian bridge that connects the Diamond Head multifamily Keoho Lane rentals to the Eva End and recreation deck and access to the garage. This is a project we're just finishing up in Lahaina, Maui, Kahoma Village, 101 single family homes and 102 townhouses. I'd like to say that this property was waiting for me to grow up. The Weinberg Foundation had owned this property for 50 years. It was previously used in cane cultivation. And so we took it through the entitlements, broke ground in 2016. We actually have a pending lawsuit that we're going to go before the Supreme Court next month on March 19th. We had some anti-development consortium of people across the street that wanted to see this property remain as a park, or but no future any more development. We processed this community under a 201H statute, so 50.1%. In fact, it's actually 60% of these units are affordable housing. So this is the first opportunity to really provide people who work out in the West Maui to actually have the opportunity to buy a home and to live, work, and play where they work, and not have to commute from upcountry or central Maui out to Lahaina on a daily basis. The interveners wanted standing for a contested case hearing before the Planning Commission and us, in which they were denied because they did not meet the standing. They then filed a lawsuit in the circuit court, which we prevailed. They then filed an appeal with the Intermediate Court of Appeals that only was decided back in September 14th of this year. The ICA remanded it back to the Planning Commission. Now, had we not gone forward to take the risk, and we broke ground in 2016 with this cloud over our head with the Intermediate Court of Appeals pending, our costs would have gone up, a lot more risk, and as well as the carrying cost of not building. And so we made the conscious decision and calculated risk that we would prevail in this lawsuit, and we'll find out soon enough next month on the March 19th, because the Supreme Court accepted our appeal, and we'll see how it's adjudicated. Adjacent to the north is the Cannery Shopping Center, and to the south is Lahaina Front Street, my old stomping grounds when we were kids. Little elevation of a street scene. Again, we practice the traditional street scene in designing the canopy trees adjacent to the parkways and roadways, and keeping the sidewalks away from the road. That's it. Questions, Brandon?
Yeah, so thank you for sharing all the projects with us, Stanford. I'm gonna kick off our Q&A with a little question here. So with all of your success today, there must have been some early challenges that you faced. And can you share your early start and what kind of personal traits do you think that helped you face those challenges?
Sure. So the second project we did in Kapolei, Ivalani, Village 5, we had Korean partners, Kunyang Construction. In fact, one of the noted developments that they left behind here in Hawaii was a Nike Town Center in Waikiki, which did not succeed. In fact, I think it's probably going to be repurposed for a hotel. But back in 1996, we were under construction and building. Well, it came across the wire in the financial world, particularly the banks. And that particular deal was financed with both private financing, private bank financing, as well as participation with the state agency. So Central Pacific Bank was the lead lender. We had I believe, an $80 million loan. Bank of America was a participant, and HHFDC was a 50% participant in the loan. While Kunyang Construction defaulted on $600 million in loans with Bank of Seoul in Korea, which caused basically a technical default of our loan covenants with the bank. Had no financial bearing on the feasibility of Ivalani. However, that technical default caused a stop lending. We had to work it out with the state as well as the banks. It took close to a year. And so it was a pretty arduous process. I had to end up buying out Kunyang Construction in order to get them out of the interest of the project. Basically, I bought them out on paper so that I was just the sole owner and developer of Ivalani, which is when the banks and the state allowed me to proceed and go forward to build out the project, which took us through the late 80s, late 90s, I'm sorry. But it was challenging. I mean, we maintained the presence in the marketplace. We used our own cash to maintain the model units and keep a presence until such time that we were able to resolve the issues with the lenders. So that was quite challenging, very uncertain, but it worked out. But I always say, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Okay. Can you also tell us a little bit about how you first got started with your career as well?
So I was a flooring contractor and working on many projects like Hawaiian Dredging, Pacific Construction. Worked on many projects throughout the state, which allowed me to meet a lot of people in every major 4 counties. It was back in '84. I befriended guys like Jim Schuler, Bruce Stark, Mike McCormick, and Herbert Harita. And being a flooring contractor, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. You're at the tail end of a project. I was always intrigued and fascinated by the blueprints and how all of these disciplines, from architects and engineers, contractors and subcontractors, suppliers, all come together. I mean, it's really a full contact team sport, and the collaboration. And I wanted the challenge to be able to do more than what we were doing. And so I made the decision that I want to learn development. And I researched a lot, went to seminars on debt equity financing. If I had to do it all again, maybe I would have gone into architecture or engineering or finance. I mean, the one thing about this business is that, it takes, you have to multitask. It takes many disciplines, a collaboration of a lot of professionals within the industry to bring this all together. I particularly enjoy working with our team on a design assist build because we're all on the same page. And that continues on even when we build projects. We buy insurance for everybody, for the whole team. An owner-controlled insurance program is how we usually secure our insurance when we're building our buildings. But by 1988 is when I ventured into development, starting with entitling with some property in Kauai. I was brought in as a consultant to represent a Boston-based firm. And so entitled a project called The Villages of Hanamalu. Today it's known as Kalepa Village. But that gave me a little taste of it. And we went on to build a project in Pukalani, Maui, called Pukalani Fairway Estates. It was 24 single-family homes along the second fairway up in Pukalani. And then it was that year in 1992 that HFDC awarded us the development rights for Ke Kuilani, the Village 4 in Kapolei. That was about a $110 million deal. I got to say that we went to the groundbreaking ceremony and Governor Waihee saw me. He was a little concerned about that, but I was only 30 years old at the time, but it all worked out. And they ended up awarding us the Village 5 to continue on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Another
question is, as engineers, one of our primary responsibilities is to put societal needs above our own. So what are your thoughts on the role that societal level concerns play in leadership and your role as an executive and community leader?
So, that's important. As you heard, I'm very much involved with a lot of community service organization. I feel that's a responsibility of ours. And for all of you, it's a great way to meet people that you would otherwise not meet in your own profession. So I think, in Hawaii, being born and raised here, growing up in smaller communities, we all take care of each other. And that's exemplified, whenever we have like this pandemic, how generous our communities are to reach out and to help everyone to get through the hard, difficult times. And everyone, many people lend a helping hand to help our community. And that's very important. And I think everybody has that responsibility to do their part.
Another question we got is, I know you talked a little bit about taking risks in your career, but we see sometimes that engineers tend to shy away from the risk and be a little more conservative. How important is taking risk for your career, and where do you think you would have gotten if you hadn't taken the risk?
I really don't think I'd be sitting here today before all of you had I not taken the risks, as well as had I not have and recognized my own weaknesses and to shore that up by learning how to shore up my weaknesses, but also to build a team. And that's what it takes, teamwork. I would not be standing here before you if it's not for all of our team members in the ohana of our company that have worked together. Some of our people have worked here for nearly 30 years, and many of them for 15 to 20 years. But I would say, don't take the risk. Don't be, especially when you're young. When you're coming out of college, no guts, no glory. You've got to be out there and be aggressive. Because if you're going to be, if you're not, only you will lose. The world is out there. It's up to you. Don't be afraid of failures, because it's not failing, it's experiences. And like I said earlier, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And we all make mistakes. I've made a lot. I've got a lot of scars on my back, but it hasn't prohibited me or hindered my ability to take risks. Although you take calculated risks, you can't be stupid about it. But let me share with you, it's passion. If you love what you do, it's not work. And I've been fortunate to find a career that I love doing. I get to work with a number of people in the professions and from all walks of life, and really enjoy it. And passion in my book is an acronym. Okay, it's passion spelled out with a double N. The P is for perseverance. You have to be persevering in order to achieve. A is ability, that you have to know what the hell you're doing. You can't bullshit your way through anything. S is for sincerity. I mean, you have to be sincere to yourself as well as to others, as well as sensitive to the environment, sensitive to the relationships, sensitive to the community. The I is for innovation, to be on the cutting edge of new products, new technology. And O is for the optimism, to believe in yourself and to believe in others. And N is to never give up. And the double M is no guts, no glory. That's it. That's what it comes down to. So have no fear. You can't be afraid of failure because unless you take that risk and try, you, you didn't get out there. So don't be afraid of it. And as you get older, your temperament gets a little, you start tempering your risks, but that just comes with age, I think, age and wiseness. Because when you learn, like they say, you make your mistake once, learn from it. You make it twice, now you're stupid, right? So you will learn from your mistakes, but you become better and stronger as a result of it.
Okay, another question is, were you ever a mentor or a mentee, and what was those relationships? What was the relationships like for you, and how would you recommend our students to find a mentor?
So I've had many, many mentors. I mean, I can name a list. Glenn Okada. I mean, he was GE Capital Finance and then started his geo development. Like I said, Jim Schuler, Bruce Stark, Mike McCormick, Marshall Hong. I mean, there's a litany of developers that shared with me, and for the same reason why I share my experiences and knowledge with anybody who asks. There's no secrets in this. It's all in the execution. And so like I said earlier, take the risk, put yourself out there, introduce yourselves to people that you want to meet. Because for myself, I want to give back. We need more local developers building housing for our communities. I mean, our gene pool here is already very small, and there's such a huge demand. So we're trying to do our best to cultivate and educate aspiring developers or people in the profession. Some of you may become developers. I would hope so, that you take your skill sets as you evolve and learn and expose, that you'll find that, hey, I just don't want to be an engineer, that I want to do more than this. But you're learning the skill sets, you're getting the foundation right now in the School of Engineering, you're problem solving. You look at the successful CEOs of a lot of our big public companies, their undergraduate degrees were in engineering. And then they went on to get their MBA or JD MBA programs to learn more and be much more well-rounded in the business world and have succeeded.
Thank you. So we do have a lot of young students here, or recently graduated students, and I'm sure they're wondering, but what does Hawaii need most from the next generation of leaders?
What do we need? We need leaders in so many areas. I mean, we've been talking about technology for decades. We've done very little to cultivate that. Last year or year before last, we built the first entrepreneur sandbox project in Kaka'ako, Makai. Please visit that. It's right across the John A. Burns School of Medicine. We did that as a community service. It was a collaboration with HCDA and HTDC. Please go there and visit. I know there's some limitations today, but again, all of you in education, I mean, Hawaii, we need more curriculums. Brendan and I have had this conversation that we need a construction management curriculum so that our kids who want to go to construction management as a career don't have to go to the mainland. We've got a school of architecture, we got a school of engineering, we got a school of urban planning. I think our architecture school, we have an architectural division called Alakea Design Group. We want to hire more architects because we need more architects. But it's very difficult to find local architects here because of the doctorate program that the university has. Now, I'm sure they did this doctorate with good intentions years ago when that decision was made, but we need them to incorporate and bring back the bachelor's degree program and the master's degree program. Our key to the leadership in Hawaii is creating their educated workforce. So it starts with the curriculum. And the university's responsibility is to offer that curriculum, to know what the business community needs are and how they connect that with creating the curriculum so that our local kids here can be successful. I mean, this is the whole reason why Governor Burns wanted to create the School of Medicine, and William Richardson wanted to create a law school here, founded a law school in order to provide the educational opportunities for our local kids so that they could not, for those who really couldn't bear and expend the cost to go to the mainland and have access to great curriculums right here in our islands. So we need to expand that and identify what our future community needs are. You guys are the future leaders. You know, I mean, I'm 59 years old now. You know, I still think I got a good 20 years ahead of me. You know, but you guys are the future leaders. So it's incumbent upon us to share with you our ideas, our experience, especially the mistakes, because you know, if you can avoid the mistakes that we made and learn from it, you're going to make your own mistakes. But at least we might help you along the way.
Okay, so another question is, what values do you live by and what matters most to you?
Attitude. To me, it starts with attitude. Because attitude, if someone has a great attitude, they're going to aspire, they're going to learn, and for those who want to mentor, they'll be happy to do so, to be generous with their time. But the sincerity, as I said earlier, that's important as part of the passion acronym. You have to be sincere with all those around you and working with you, and be respectful of everybody else's point of view. We're not going to agree on everything. You'll at times agree to disagree, but you need to talk it through. And it takes collaboration. It takes a teamwork. There's no one person that can do it alone. And, you know, I have to pinch myself sometimes as you know, coming from a single parent mom out on Maui, and to be where we are today, it took a collaboration of team members. And I've been fortunate to have a strong team that has been loyal to me and have worked hard with me, and we enjoy our work. We've got guys here in the early 70s, but they won't retire. They love what they do. Plus, I told them, you retire, you get retarded. So I'll say it's a good idea.
Oh, talking about your upbringing, can you tell us how that shaped you to be how that shaped you to be a leader as you are today?
Yeah. Well, I had a short childhood. Having a single parent mom, you know, and growing up country in Kula, which is pretty isolated, you tend to do things yourself to entertain yourself or occupy your time, which was work. I wanted a motocross bike. I was 10 years old. I asked my mom, "Can I get a motorcycle?" She said, "I can't afford it." I said, "Okay." So I started walking down the street, and you know, up in Kula, your neighbors are a few hundred feet away or even longer, but knocking on doors to see if anybody needed yard work done after school and weekends. And I guess, you know, they felt sorry for me or gave me the opportunity, but I did good work. And it allowed me to save money and buy myself a motorcycle. And that taught me the taste of, hey, I like making my own money, because what you put into it is what you'll get out of it. But sometimes I learned in farming, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, there were times when I was growing Chinese cabbage, and the market went from 11 cents a pound to 22 cents a pound, and started making some real money. So I doubled up my production, only to experience that the larger Kamuela farmers on the Big Island flooded the market with Chinese cabbage. So instead of getting a check from the Maui Farmers Exchange, I got a statement with red numbers that I owed them money for all the charges that I had to sign out from the co-op. So you work hard, but again, things don't work out due to circumstances beyond your control, whether it be weather, a disease, oversupply of produce. Same like the real world. You have an oversupply of housing, which we all experience in 1995, 1996. I mean, we went from selling 20 homes a month in 92, 93 to luckily we could sell one home a week in, in the mid to late 90s. I mean, if you sold two, uh, bust out the middle of life because we couldn't afford champagne back then.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna wrap up pretty soon. So any last minute advice or closing comments for this session? And another thing, our dean tells us that you're very fashionable. So can you tell us where your fashion sense comes from, or is it more a reflection of your personality?
Well, the fashion, I got to credit my wife. She's my personal shopper because I think, she could be an Olympic sport for her. And I don't particularly like to take the time to go out and shop. I have, more productive things to do. Um, so yeah, she deserves all the credit for what I wear, and I always say happy wife, happy life. So whatever she buys me, I'm gonna wear and be very content with it. Um, as for, again, you guys are the future leaders. And go out there. Don't be afraid. The world is at your fingertips. Um, Again, you might want to circle back. What was your previous question before the fashion? You threw me off guard there.
It was just if you had any closing comments about our leadership seminar, any advice.
Well, I want to thank you for having me. Again, have no fear. You've got the world ahead of you. Would have never thought I'd be where I'm at 40 years later. And I'm a perfect exemplification that you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind, heart, and soul into it and work hard at it. Work hard, work smart. Again, be sincere, respectful, collaborate. It takes a team effort. No one can do it on their own. And it's the relationships that you will build in years to come that will become lifetime relationships that you'll really appreciate because that's what it's all about. And let me tell you, it's very gratifying to go back and look at what you've done and how you've contributed to whatever your endeavor be, whether it be building a home, a house, a whole master plan. Uh, be proud of it. I always say autograph your work. You want to autograph it, put your name to it, so that you take a lot of pride in what you do. Whatever we do, society will live for the next 100+ years with. You want them to be praising for the work that you did and not criticizing you. We try to take that approach with each community we do, which is why you see every community of ours is different.
Okay, thank you so much, Stanford. I am always impressed with the way your mind just kind of rolls and just goes. And so, I just want to say thank you for being our first speaker, for sharing. You are a good friend, a great contributor to our community and leader. So mahalo for everything that you do. I also want to thank Mallory and Lindsay for such a good job at moderating this session. And also Kim Perez-Holtz, our marketing and outreach director, for helping put all of this together. So appreciate everybody joining us. Hopefully that you will join us next month on March 19th to listen to our mayor, Rick Blangiardi, talk about some of his vision and his reflections on his youth and pathway throughout his career, much like Stanford did today. So please join us, and let's all give Stanford a round of applause.
Thank you.
Mahalo,
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a great Aloha Friday and weekend, everybody. Aloha.
Thank you. Aloha, folks. Thank you very much for attending.